Hello everyone, my name is Saicharan Mudiam and welcome to week 1 of BinaryTree's comprehensive curriculum. Today we're building two documents that open almost every professional door you'll walk through, the resume and the professional email. By the end, you'll know how to put yourself on paper in a way that actually gets you a response, whether you're applying for a job or pitching your own business. Let's get into it. Here's the plan. We'll start with why resumes matter, then dig into resumes fundamentals that includes the structure, formats, and what a strong one looks like. After that, we'll go into email essentials like tone, structure, and etiquette, and we'll see how it all applies to entrepreneurship and finish off with some hands-on practice. Just for an overview of our objectives, hopefully you understand what binary tree is. With this course, our focus is simple but powerful, writing resumes and emails that actually get results. The goal isn't a document that just exists, it's professional materials that open doors for jobs and for entrepreneurship. So what is a resume? At its core, it's a concise document that summarizes your skills, experience, and education for a job application. Think of it as your professional highlight reel. It's almost always the very first impression an employer gets of you, the key that unlocks doors to things like interviews and networking opportunities. The resume has three jobs. First, catch an employer's attention and make a strong first impression, often in just a few seconds of scanning. Second, share your strengths, skills, and accomplishments. Third, hopefully win you an interview or whatever the next step is by helping you stand out from your competition. Every choice on your resume should serve one of those three goals. There are three main formats you can have when building a resume. The first is a chronological resume. A chronological resume lists your work from most recent to oldest, the classic choice with a steady job history. A functional resume highlights skills instead of a timeline, which is great for career changers and more functional, practical fields. And a combination resume merges the two, perfect for entrepreneurship stepping into a traditional role. Let's break down the sections of a resume. At the top, you want to have contact info, which includes things like your name, phone, email, and professional LinkedIn. Then a short summary of who you are and what you're after. Next, work experience with accomplishments, then education, then a skills section, and optionally extras like projects, awards, or volunteer work that may make you memorable. Projects can often go in a separate portfolio as to avoid cluttering your resume. So now let's talk about what clean formatting looks like. How it looks matters as much as what it says. Aim for a minimal modern layout with plenty of white space and use bullets so it's easy to skim. Clear headings help recruiters scan in seconds. And keep it friendly. Clean standard fonts that pass the tracking systems many companies use before a human ever sees it. So now I'll talk about how we can tailor our resumes. Here's a mistake almost everyone makes, sending the same resume to every single job. Instead, it's important that we're customizing it to each and every role we're applying for, pulling keywords straight from the job description. Those tracking systems are legitimately scanning for these words before a human even reads your resume, and directly addresses the skills that the employer asks for. A tailored resume will beat a generic one every time. Volume is important when applying, but so is specificity. Now let's show how we can showcase our achievements. This one idea can transform your resume. It's important that we're quantifying our impact. On the left, vague statements like responsible for sales. On the right, the same work becomes generated $50,000 in a new client outreach or increased traffic by 45%. Numbers make you believable. Whenever you can attach a number, a percentage, or a dollar amount, do it. Trying to be as specific as possible and using appropriate action verbs when you're discussing what you did makes you a lot more impressive on paper. So how can we include entrepreneurship activities on a resume? This is the big question that we're asking. What if your base experience isn't a traditional job? What if you started something new, original? Put it on there. Include your ventures, even the ones that didn't make money. They show initiative. Highlight the leadership and problem solving. Focus on transferable skills and use that same quantified format so your venture reads as seriously as any job title. Here's an example resume, or I guess an example resume formatting template. So let's see this in practice. Here's Jamie, a recent CS graduate. Clean contact line, then a short summary naming the exact role they want. Since Jamie doesn't have years of jobs yet, the resume leans on education and projects. And notice the capstone. Reduced tracking time by 35%. Even a student project gets a specific number, and this allows Jamie to stand out from other generic resumes. Here's another resume example of an entrepreneur. A side hustle turned into a serious resume section, listed just like every other job. Every bullet has a number: $75,000 in sales, a team of 5, 150K in funding, and at the bottom, transferable skills spelled out. That's how you make your own business speak the language employers already understand. So now we kind of understand how a resume works. Let's talk about what sinks a resume and the top mistakes we should be avoiding. 1. Typos and grammar errors. A single mistake signals carelessness, so proofread everything. In the age of AI and generative AI, it's really easy to do this. You can simply plug your resume in and tell it to fix any grammar or grammatical issues. 2. Generic one-size-fits-all resumes, which we've already went into. 3. The wrong length. Aim for 1 to 2 pages, or if you have extra additional projects, have a portfolio attached to your resume, or just go based off what the job requirements asking. And 4, outdated information. Keep it focused on your recent relevant achievements. If you're applying for a job post-college, you shouldn't have high school accomplishments on there. Let's go through a little checklist you can use. Here's your final checklist before you hit send to any major company or opportunity. Is the layout clean and scannable? Are there zero typos? Is it tailored to the specific role? Do you use strong action verbs? And is your contact information current and professional? In addition, make sure that you're quantifying everything. Check all 5 boxes and your resume is ready to go. Here's a quick activity. Look at the sample resume on the screen. Which part needs the most improvement? A, the contact information, B, the work experience, C, the skills section, or D, the education formatting. In fact, every single one of these answers can be true in a different sense, but it's important that you're able to accurately defend your answer. So now let's switch into the other half, professional emails. A professional email has a clear purpose and structure, a respectful tone, and is proofread and concise. It represents your personal brand. An unprofessional one is casual and sloppy, missing a greeting, full of slang, or doesn't even have a subject line. The difference is completely within your control. When do you need this? 4 big situations: a job search, when you're reaching out to hiring managers, networking, connecting with mentors; general professionalism for inquiries and proposals; and entrepreneurship, where email carries your partnership pitches; investor outreach, and client communication. In all 4, it's often your first real conversation with someone, and it's important we're making the appropriate first impression. Every strong email follows the same basic skeleton: a clear, specific subject line, like meeting request, project collaboration, so they know why you're writing it before they even open it; a proper greeting. Then the body. The purpose is in the very first sentence, details in the middle, action items at the end, and a professional sign off with your name and contact info. A few etiquette essentials that are really important to know when writing a professional email. Use a professional address, ideally first name dot last name at aol@gmail.com. Always include a specific subject line. Be polite, concise, and focused on your one purpose. Try to cut out any unnecessary fluff, because realistically, nobody wants to read all of that. Proofread before sending. Reading it aloud often helps you catch what your eyes skip. And add a professional signature at the end so it's easier to reach you back. This should include your name, contact information, or any other places they want you to see. So here's an effective email example. The subject line names the position and the applicant. No guessing. The first sentence states the purpose and job ID. Then one tight paragraph backs it up with the real result. Engagement up to 35%. And it closes cleanly with the name and full contact info. Short, specific, and easy to say yes to, without having a bunch of wordy nonsense that would make it more unappealing for somebody to read through. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every single time you have to make a professional email. For a job application, make sure you're just being specific about the position and lead with your best qualification. For an informational interview, mention a shared connection. For a networking follow-up, reference your last conversation. And for a business introduction, highlight the mutual benefit and suggest one specific next step. And the traps to avoid. Being too casual with a slang or a hey where a greeting belongs. A vague subject line that's easy to ignore. Content that's too long so the reader gives up. Grammar errors that quietly hurt your credibility. Or a giant wall of text. Make sure you're breaking it into short paragraphs so that people will actually read it. And get rid of any unnecessary information. The one last idea. Your resume and emails are part of your whole digital presence, so line them up with your LinkedIn, website, and portfolio. Aim to look professional across every single touch point, with consistent messaging that ties into one cohesive brand. And every so often, search yourself up on the internet to make sure that what's out there reflects the professional you want to be. So now that we understand how everything works, let's go into some practice problems. Which headline is strongest for a tech/entrepreneurship role? A. Experienced developer. B. Hardworking team player. C. Full stack developer with 5+ years building scalable SaaS solutions. Or D. Recent graduate looking for opportunities. Pause here while you think through your answer, and then unpause when you're ready for it. The correct answer is C. C is the strongest because it's specific and quantified. It names the role, the years, and the exact work that makes them qualified for the position, while the rest of them are vague or irrelevant. Let's spot the email errors in problem 2. The email in question is located on the left side. Before you read what's on the right, just try to look through the email and come to what you can see. 1. An unprofessional email address. Partyguy123. 2. There's no proper greeting. 3. The tone is far too casual. 4. The subject just says job. 5. There's no email signature. And 6. It never mentions any real qualifications for the role. There's 6 fixable mistakes in this one extremely short email. Problem 3. A quick match. On screen, there are 5 labels: professional summary, work experience, education, skills, and contact information. Match each to the correct part of the resume and in the order they want. Order them in the correct order that they should be on a resume. Pause now and then unpause when you're ready. Contact information should be at the very top. Professional summary should be just below your contact info, then your work experience, then your education with skills near the end. Problem 4, the keyword challenge. Here's a marketing coordinator posting asking for digital marketing, social media management, content creation, email campaigns, analytics, SEO, and project management. Which keywords should you pull into your resume? Take a pause and brainstorm before you come back. You'd mirror the posting's own words. Include things like social media management, content creation, email campaigns, and SEO, because that's what the automated tracking systems are looking for, and that's what the people in charge of reading your resume will be looking for as well. And lastly, problem 5 is a hands-on activity. Take a little bit of time after this lesson and just try to draft a short networking email to a potential mentor or business partner. Keep it brief, but include 4 things: a specific subject line, a quick intro, a clear reason you're reaching out, and a concrete next step. Take a few minutes and give it a shot. Remember that practice makes perfect, and you're going to get better at this as you go through it. Thank you so much for your time, and that wraps up week one. Great work today. You now know how to build a resume that stands out and is professional, and write an email that hopefully gets a reply. Those two skills alone will put you ahead. Next week, we move into social media, safety, and networking. I'll see you then.